So we're taking the wraps off of Nod, and Nod in Command & Conquer 3 Tiberium Wars is a little more nuanced than what you might have seen in the first two Command & Conquer games. In our quest to make the universe feel more believable, richer, we really wanted to explore what this stateless superpower is really all about. So how could an organization have millions of members, stand toe-to-toe with GDI in terms of military power, really fight two world wars with them, and yet they're not really a country. So Nod has the characteristics of a religious order, like a terrorist organization, and some aspects of even like a multinational corporation and a nation state, but they're really kind of none of the above. And the way they operate is they set up shop in the yellow zones, which are areas that are infested by Tiberium. Social order has broken down. 80% of the world's population lives in these zones, and they're desperate. So there's an opportunity for Nod to go in, bring some level of order from chaos, and use religion and some hope for a better day to pull people into the organization. So even though at the very top of the organization they're very bad guys, they do present a front to the world that is somewhat sympathetic. Kane is back, and I'm really delighted that we're working with Joe Kukin to return as Kane in Command & Conquer 3. I think he's happy to be working in the Command & Conquer universe again. We're delighted to have him back, and I think you'll see from the videos he definitely is Kane. So Nod is an interesting mix of high-tech and low-tech. So if you think of Nod as I've described them, recruiting literally millions of people out of the yellow zones, they're training a subset of these folks, giving them weapons, and putting them into the battlefield as cannon fodder. So you've got this low-tech militia supported by a very high-tech core organization that has access to the very latest technology, the very latest in training. So the point of the spear is really these elite groups that have the vehicles that I think people have come to know and love as classic Nod RTS units. The stealth tank, the flame tank, the structures like the Obelisk of Light, all making a comeback in Command & Conquer 3, but also some new units. The Vertigo bomber, which is a Batwing stealth bomber. The Venom scout aircraft, which is really Nod's counterpart to the Orca. And what we're calling the Avatar War Mech, which is this big bipedal mech that takes charge of the battlefield and can actually rip weapon systems off of units and attach them to itself. So it can actually rip the flamethrower off of a flame tank and gain the ability to shoot fire. It's a very, very cool unit. Those are the super high-tech units. Then they're surrounded by hordes of militants and fanatics who are, again, sort of the low-tech component. So the present-day analog for Nod in 2047, think of the Northern Alliance in Afghanistan working with our special forces and our extremely high-tech aircraft and weapon systems. So you've got this really interesting low-tech, high-tech hybrid that very much lends itself to the hit-and-run tactics, ambushes, fast gameplay that Nod is known for. GDI is all about firepower, building up a great big army, rolling over your opponent with mammoth tanks, orcas, predator battle tanks, overwhelming force, frontal assault with overwhelming force. That's what GDI is all about. One of the things I loved about Command & Conquer was the original sidebar interface, and specifically the ability to control your production queues from anywhere on the battlefield. So you could be in the middle of a battle and tell your production structures to create new vehicles or infantry. So we knew for Command & Conquer 3 we had to bring back the sidebar, but we had to update it because RTS games have evolved over the last 7 years, and so have the user interfaces, and in fact some of our previous games have pioneered some advances in how to make interface in an RTS really accessible, easy to use so that people aren't intimidated by the controls. So for Command & Conquer 3 we are taking the sidebar where you have central control of all of your production structures and adding in the ability to click on any unit or structure on the battlefield and get a contextual space in the lower right hand part of your screen where you can access all the unit special abilities, get information about the unit or structure. So if you've never played a Command & Conquer game before and you come in and you play CNC 3, you can play it like you would play any other state-of-the-art RTS. Click on units, click on structures, you'll have everything there. but there's this additional layer for the gamer that wants more control and more flexibility. And as you gain proficiency with the UI, you'll be able to use the sidebar to bandbox entire formations and then drill down to specific unit types and then upgrade those units on the fly with a minimum of clicks. You can control all of your production structures anywhere on the battlefield, tell them what to build, and that's just amazingly powerful, and it really speeds up the game and gives you an amazing amount of flexibility. Our technology has actually come a long way. I mean, one area of focus for Command & Conquer 3 has been particle systems. We have a new particle system that lets us put literally 10 times the number of particles on the screen. And particles sound somewhat esoteric. What does that really mean? It means amazing weather effects, so you have dust and haze blowing over the battlefield, explosions, fire, smoke, unbelievable quantities of smoke that it even actually turns into a factor in gameplay because you've got smoke blowing across the battlefield. All the explosions and particle effects associated with missiles in the air and tracers. There's just an amazing amount of pyrotechnics and weather and atmospheric effects that help bring the world to life. We also have a real-time post-effect system which allows us to give every environment in the game a very unique sense of place. And all the footage that you're going to be seeing of Command & Conquer 3 over the next little while, you'll see this sort of bleached out desert-looking environment that has a very strong mood and sense of place assigned to it. Well, all of our environments, whether it's an urban cityscape in a blue zone or this hellish alien planet-like environment that is a red zone where nobody can live, they all have very unique look. Those are just two examples of how we've upgraded the engine. We've also done a ton of work on the fundamentals to get rid of lags and hitches, really improved everything from pathfinding to memory management. Because our center for this game is fast, fluid, and fun gameplay, and anything that gets in the way of that we have gotten rid of, and then we've improved the engine to make the controls feel that much better and that much more responsive.